Greeting YouTube. Once again, pardon the fan noises behind me. Today's video is going to be in two parts. First, I want you to imagine for a moment that you own a company and one of your employees comes to you and tells you that for the next 2 weeks they're going to come to work and they're going to sit at their desk and they're going to do absolutely nothing. They're going to produce no work. They're not going to do any task. They're not going to achieve any goals. Nada. But they want you to pay them anyway. What would you do in that case? I know that what I would do, and if they showed up and they actually made good on their threat, and they just sat there and did nothing after being given a first warning, and I'm a firm believer that everybody gets a second chance, I would then fire them. Well, see, that's what Republicans in Congress have done for the past 2 weeks in their 33rd attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act. 33 times they've tried to do this. And again, this was another empty symbolic measure to show that their base knows how they stand on wanting to screw Americans out of as much money as possible by blocking the Affordable Care Act. And in the process of wasting our 2 weeks of time, they cost us $48 million. Now remember, the Affordable Care Act is a Republican plan, designed by Republicans, originally defended by Republicans, totally a Republican plan. And yet now, it's been labeled Obama's football. I don't get it. I also don't get why we can't just fire every single Republican in Congress. Because frankly, we'd all be a whole lot better off. Part 2. The independent investigation into the Penn State sex scandal has finally been released. Louis Freeh has finished his independent investigation following the guilty verdict where Sandusky was found guilty of, I believe, 45 out of 48 child abuse charges. He's going to be spending a lot of time in jail in the near future. And his report shows, and the evidence is insurmountable. There are dozens of emails that show this back and forth between people who knew what was going on as early as 1996. So from 1996 till 2012, 15 years of evidence that the school covered up Sandusky's crimes, all in the name of preserving the Penn State football franchise, keeping that program up and running, and not sullying the name of Penn State. But they were okay with allowing Sandusky to rape children. That was all right. They even threatened janitors over this issue, telling them if anyone said anything, they would be fired. And people wonder why I have such a dim view of sports in America. And yes, you're going to tell me, oh, you're painting with the broad brush. This type of mentality is not just present on the campus of Penn State, folks. The mentality that sports is some holy quest that we've placed on a pedestal and that no one can question, that everyone has to look upon it in the same way and see it as this divine rite of passage. No. It's people playing with balls. There is nothing about it that should be considered special. And colleges wrap themselves around these sports programs while neglecting actual education. So do high schools. And then people get paid millions of dollars as professionals when we can't fund our schools. And these programs are used as justification to forgive rape? Yeah, about that. So I'm hoping everyone in the entire Penn State administration that knew anything about this is fired. And I hope that their football program is wiped off the map, just eradicated, so that no one from Penn State will ever be allowed to play college ball again. Because there is no excuse for this, folks. None. Not one. And it sickens me.